All right, I was asked how I make what I call the ultimate pork and beans. This is a combination recipe. It uses an old French recipe for beans called beans Bretagne or Brittany and Carnitas. I found living in Mexico the beans were pretty much tasteless, and I used my bean recipe that I liked and added Carnitas to it, and it turned out to be a very good pork and bean recipe. So I've been asked a number of times how to make this because it was very popular in Mexico and popular here in Louisiana, so I'm going to show you how I do it. So the ingredients you need for the Carnitas, you need about 3 pounds, 3 pounds really of pork. Now you can buy the pork, fresh pork already cut like this. This is kind of fatty, but that's really good. I like to use a pork loin and just cut it up myself, but when you do this, it doesn't have as much fat, and you may have to add more oil or lard to brown it. Besides the meat, you need oil for browning. You can use any kind of oil that you like. And besides the oil, you need, I didn't get this out of the refrigerator. You also need milk. Now some people use sweetened condensed milk, but I think it makes it too sweet. I use regular milk. So you need milk, oil, salt and pepper. You need about an inch of cinnamon stick or about a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And you need Coca-Cola. This is Diet Coca-Cola. I usually use regular, but you also need 2 bay leaves and some thyme. This is fresh thyme from the garden. The bay leaves are from my garden too, but I've dried them out of it. And you'll need, not for this. That's all you need for the Carnitas. Now, for the beans, over here. For the beans, you need 1.5 cups of dried beans. These are pinto. I also use Great White Northern. I don't use black or kidney beans. Pretty much either Great White Northern or pinto. You need a jar of pimento. You need some garlic, either cloves or already minced. Another thing I don't have out. You need onion, 1 onion, depending upon how much onion you like in yours. My onion is already cut up. When I get onion, I cut it all up and have it. When I get onion, I cut it all up and have it ready to go. This is a whole bunch of onion, but about a cup of that would be a cup to 2 cups, depending upon how much onion you like. So, beans, can of stewed, diced, or crushed tomatoes. These are crushed. And pimento, stock, any kind, beef, chicken, or vegetable works. This is beef stock. You need some Cajun seasoning. This is New Orleans style, and I usually use Clapa You Mama. 2 cloves, butter, not all that. We'll just use a couple tablespoons, about half a cup of butter. So half a cup is, I think, a whole stick. I have to remember. Yeah, half a cup. So a whole stick of butter. So salt and pepper. And you can, this is totally optional. And I don't usually always put it in. In fact, I rarely put it in. You could either put in some white wine or some brandy. And I think because I'm making this for someone else, I'll probably be putting the brandy in it. So those are the ingredients that you need for the beans. Half a cup of dried beans. Tomatoes, these are crushed, pimento, beef stock, onions, butter, seasoning, which I use salt and pepper and Cajun seasoning, and garlic, and optionally brandy or wine. The first thing you have to do is prep the beans. So this is going to be mostly cooked in an Insta-pot. Pressure cooker makes this go fast, otherwise it's going to take you 2 days. So in the Insta-pot, you can soak the beans overnight, but I'm going to do it in the pressure cooker. And to do that, to soak overnight, you cover the beans with water, and then the next day, after overnight, you soak them, and then you parboil them for half an hour. The method I use with the pressure cooker is you simply put the beans in, put 8 cups of water on this, and you don't have to measure the water because you're going to drain it afterwards. I have 1.5 cups of beans in here, 8 cups of water. Put it under pressure. Close the valve. Turn the power on. And I want to put it under pressure, high, for 25 minutes. And then I'm just going to, when it goes off, I'm just going to let it vent naturally for about 20 minutes, and then if it's still not finished, fast, quick release. No, actually I want it for 40 minutes. Let's do this again. Hi. Come on. Pressure cooker. Time. Not temperature. Time. 40 minutes. I'm thinking I set it for 25 because that's how many minutes it takes to so it's going to cook for 45 minutes, then it's going to naturally let the steam release for 25, and then do a quick release. So just get the beans ready, and then then we can start the other things. All right, you drain the beans, and they should be soft. They might be a little bit hard, but they're not finished cooking yet. So that's the whole point of pre-cooking the beans, is you need to get them to a stage where when you add the other ingredients and it's finished, they will be finished. If you didn't pre-cook your beans, they'd be hard. Everything else would be cooked, but they would be still semi-hard. Okay, I tried to get this so you could see inside the pot, but that didn't work. So we'll have to do it this way. Anyway, I put it on saute. You can do this in a frying pan, but doing it in here will save me dishes. So I put it on saute high. I'm going to heat the oil. In the meantime, I'm going to put salt and pepper on the meat. And just mix it a little so it gets mixed into the meat. This is 3 pounds of pork loin. It's not very fatty, so that's what we're going to have to use oil to brown it. If you had really fatty meat, like the packaged kind that I showed you, you could use less oil. So let's see how hot it is. All right. I'm going to brown the meat and take it out, and then after it's all brown, put it all back in again. You can't see much, so I'll probably just fast forward through this and show you the steps. Okay, so I've browned the meat. It takes about 5 minutes. Lightly browned it, not dark brown. This is pork, not beef. And I did it in 2 batches. I put the first batch back in it. And now you add the Coke, a cup of Coca-Cola. You don't strain the oil. And a 1/4 of a cup of milk. The milk is to tenderize the meat. The Coke is to flavor it. All right, so. And you want to add your bay leaf, cinnamon, and thyme. And I'm going to stir this. And I'm going to continue to cook it a little bit more. Cooled down because of the Coke and the milk. Just a few more minutes. And then I'm going to pressure cook it. I'm going to pressure cook it for, I forget. It's been a while since I did this. 25 minutes. And then you allow the steam to release naturally. So as soon as it comes back up. The milk solids in there will coagulate, and you'll be able to skim them off at the end. If you want to do that, you don't need to do it. It doesn't hurt anything if you don't. It's going to get mixed in with everything else. The pressure cook, the meat at this point is not cooked, just browned. The pressure cooking will cook the meat thoroughly. It also will force the Coca-Cola into the meat and the milk. It will make it tender and a bit on the sweet side and a bit browner because of the Coca-Cola. All right, I'm bringing it back to a boil. I want it to change it to pressure, time 25 minutes. And make sure the vent's closed. Let it go for 25 minutes. So, it's hard for me to get this picture focused in here, but this is what the inside of the crock pot, this is what the meat looks like. You can see the milk has disappeared. The Coke has gone into the meat. It's made it darker. And the meat is fully cooked now. So now right to this, we're going to add all the other ingredients for the beans. So we're adding, I'm using crushed tomatoes today. It doesn't, I'm using crushed tomatoes today. It doesn't matter whether it's crushed or diced or not the pureed. You don't, you want tomatoes. You don't want just juice. So, and I'm going to rinse it a little bit with some broth. And then to that, we're going to add the beans. And the pimentos. Now you can, the recipe says run these through a sieve, but I don't ever do that. Just a second. All right, next, pimentos. These pimentos are not whole, they're diced, and I'm adding them, including the juice. Whole thing. If they were whole, you might want to let me turn this off. If they were whole, you might want to run them through a sieve to make them smaller. All right, so we also need onions. Now, as I say, my onions are already cut up, and an onion is about a cup. And so I'm going to use 2 good handfuls of onions there. All right, 2 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to go ahead and use the already minced garlic. And it's about 2 cloves. You see how exact I am, don't you? Most cooks are like that. And now the spices are these, the Slappy Umama, or the Cajan seasoning. So I need two teaspoons, half a tablespoon, 2 teaspoons of salt and pepper. So, teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of pepper. Now later you might want to taste these, and you may find that you want to add more salt or pepper, and if you like it spicy. Oh, if you don't have Cajun seasoning, you can also use hot sauce or Tabasco, but don't overdo it. This is not meant to be really hot. So the Slappy Umama is a teaspoon, but it's about a dash of hot Tabasco, maybe 2 dashes, not more than 3, I don't think. So we have all of that. Now I'm going to add, I have some leftover brandy here, and I'm going to throw that in. You can put white wine in, a cup of it, or more if you like. I don't generally put it in. The alcohol cooks out, of course, but even still. So I'm going to stir this up, and then I'm going to add enough broth. It says a cup of broth, but it could be more than that or less than that. You want the beans sloppy. They will absorb a lot of the liquid. It won't be like baked beans. They won't absorb it like that, but so it's about a cup. And that's about, I think, what I need. Now let me show you what this looks like. So here's what the beans look like. I'm going to put it on slow cook. So put this down to slow cook, 4 hours. It won't take that long, but you can leave it on that for as long as you want. That's this lid. And actually it's the other lid. It's the air fryer lid. And I'm going to leave the vent up and just let it slow cook for that time.